Okay. Good morning to anybody who's awake and bless up and big up yourself. If you are up, you're daggone night owl like me, or you have insomnia, a little bit of both like myself. Well, God bless you. Because either way, you can't sleep. So, yeah, I can't sleep for whatever reason. Probably because I sleep too much during the day. That's probably what it is. But yeah, I just want to come on and give my 2 cents that nobody asked for about respect, because I've been on social media off and on for years, man. And I realized that the disrespect is just at a high level. It don't matter who you are, what you are, what age you are, anything. A lot of these cats on here are so disrespectful. So my PSA to them is just that you're gonna learn a hard lesson in real life that respect is king. And in the real world, respect can save your life. You know, I've been in room with men who I really respect, who I know are very dangerous but very respectful. And that was the key word. I was never worried about them because there was a level of respect, you know? How many times have I got stopped by the police and carry on and all that? I yes sir and no sir my way all the way home, even though I was burning up inside. When I was in the military, it was yes drill sergeant, no drill sergeant, and all of that throughout life. All the jobs I've had that I didn't really love or like, I needed that paycheck. I bit down and just did what I did. And now, fast forward to today in social media, it seems like the lesson of respect is just not being taught, man. It doesn't seem to matter. A lot of these younger cats and some cats that are in my age group in their 50s, they don't understand or they don't seem to remember. These are folks in my age group about respect. A lot of people lose everything because of disrespect. It's not because of anything else. You could only disrespect a human being for so long before they give you the energy that you give back 10 times as much as you gave them, because you're not going to get it on the same level. You're not going to get it. Believe me, you're not. I've had my jaw broke. I've had bones broken and all that stuff coming up. My eyes tell a story. So, been through some things. And that was because maybe as a youngster, I didn't know how to shut my mouth. But as I got older, I learned about respect, and I know that respect is king. That's why I talk, speak the way I do, is why I act the way I do. Really not gonna lose myself on here any. I have, but I'm not going to anymore. It's just we gotta start talking to each other about respect and being respectful, man, because the disrespect is just at a high level. If you got an issue with anyone on social media and you happen to have their phone number, just call them. You men, right? Just call them and have a conversation. Don't put your business all out on the street like most of us have done and yada, yada, yada. Give each other that respect and put the fire out like that. Because at the end of the day, we, the older cats, are being watched by people that are 16 all the way up to 30 and all that stuff are watching us. We're supposed to guide them, not show them that we're coming down to their level. Whatever happened to respect in our society, man? What happened to it? Why is it such a foreign word? And when you say it in certain circles, people are going to say, depending on the circles that you're in, they're going to say, "Oh, well, you're getting in your feelings." What does that mean? Because I'm asking for, I'm just simply saying that hey, that was disrespectful. I'm getting in my feelings. I really don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. So you can't voice your opinion at all now because you're getting in your feelings or you're a bitch. If you say so. All I know is that the good Lord kept me alive for soon to be 52 years, not because I'm Tony Tough guy or I could jump off buildings in a single bound or anything like that, because he taught me about respect, young and old. You understand me? I'm alive today because I learned about respect. I learned the hard way coming up. Ain't nothing easy coming up with me. I learned the hard way, and that's the truth of the matter. You learn things the hard way. Yeah. But that's just my 2 cents about this whole situation. I mean, that's why I really do want to start doing some more podcasts and all that. But I'm just disenchanted with this whole social media thing. You might see me pop up every now and then, but because I'm a creative person and I'm just an intelligent, respectful person, I have to filter out all the damn negative stuff first, and then I can give you a real show again. Because I miss doing them. It's just that I don't have that fire, that oomph to do them. Even though I have one tomorrow, good brother coming on. I'm gonna start doing a series of with some independent black comic book owners. You're gonna start seeing me do a lot more with independent black comic book owners, independent black business owners, anywhere from watch companies, shoe companies, anything. I'm gonna start promoting just black entrepreneurs and black businesses because no one else is doing it, and I believe it's not fair. Of course, I'm gonna uh, verify that they say who they are first because I'm gonna be the one that's looking them up. So I'm gonna give them their time to shine and all that. A brother that's coming on here who left Baltimore in 1986. He's a little bit older than I am, and he's a martial artist, director, and he does his own movies. So you could do these things, man. You can do them. I can't tie myself to one arena, which is boxing, and say this is what I'm going to do and just live off that. Now I gotta be all over the place, knowing me because I'm so creative. But you can hear the calmness and happiness in my voice, man. The less I'm on here, the happier I am. But when I'm on here doing my own thing, being creative, I get that happiness too. Even if you don't know half of the folks that you might see on the show, you know that I picked them with a purpose. Just like when I was that's how I picked the fighters for like Major Key and all that when we were working together. We're still working together, but when I was picking fighters, I had a purpose in who I picked. They weren't all now. Most of them were Hall of Famers, but there were a few. They had a story, and I figured, well, this is what people want to hear. The real boxing fans. Tell them your story. Give that same passion that you gave me on the phone when we did our phone conference to verify you were coming and everything. Give that out to the audience. Give it to the audience, and that's how the show. That's why the show didn't have the numbers, but it left memories. See, a lot of people have all these big outrageous numbers, but no one remembers their shows because it's just like you on a conveyor belt and you're doing it. Like, okay, if anybody out there worked for a UPS back in the day like I did, every day was the same blasted thing. Load the truck, pack the truck, load the truck, pack the truck. It's boring as hell. Then once you find a job and a career that fits your soul and you grow with it, it's memorable to you and it's joyful, and and your energy comes across like that and people feel that, and that's when you grow. And that's what I was feeling when I was working with old Major there, and we were building something. Even though the numbers didn't say that we were great, but we knew all the calls we were getting and comments was like, yeah, y'all need to keep this up. This is good. This is what we like to hear. There's no drama over here and all that. But yeah, man, it all boils down to respect. That's why I'm able to work with brothers. I've worked with him. I've worked with DJ Rebel. Y'all gonna be seeing more of him. He's worked with everybody from Wu Tang to he went on tour with Santana for about a year. So he's worked with everybody in the business and just a lot of different folks, man. I could shout out Tommy Brooks. I could shout out Marvin McDowell from B-More Umar Boxing. Just a lot of different things. Whatever you do in this life, please base it on a foundation of respect because you'll get a whole lot further in this life once you understand that you must first respect yourself for others to respect you. That's the first thing. And then that energy will come off of you in any room I step into. I don't change the energy in a negative way. I add to it in a positive way. And then I fade to black. I make myself scarce. That's just me. So when you just like that's how it starts. You have to believe in yourself because we are all hung by our own tongue. We all of us are. No matter what anybody tells you or whatever, it might sound like I'm rambling a bit, but I'm not. We're all hung by our tongue. So what you speak into the world is what you shall live. And that's how I know about respect. Because I was raised by my grandmother and she put me in place with a lot of older cats, and I learned some hard lessons coming up. Like I said, I had my jaw broken, other things on me broken. I learned some hard lessons, but now as a 52-year-old grandfather and a father of four adults, you get to understand that Respect is king. Without respect, your life shall be short and meaningless. Very, very meaningless. Because I was once told, I heard a very somebody, I think it was, oh Lord, Al Sharpton, one of those pastors on the radio, was like, I listened to one of their shows. He's like, make sure you live a life where the pastor can say something about you, because no one wants to be up there hemming and hawing about, oh, let's just throw a name out there. Oh, Troy was a good guy, but his family can't tell you what he did. Oh, sure, he's a father, a grandfather, and yeah, he graduated from high school. He went to the military, and yeah, see that little dash from 1970, 1980, 1990, whatever, until the day you died. That dash right between those two numbers, from the day you were born till the day you died, that little dash is the most important thing, because that fills in the, what you have done in this life. That's what it is. That's the God's honest truth. That it tells people, okay, he or she did this, he or she accomplished that. And even though it might seem small to you because it was commonplace for you to do it, for somebody else, it could touch them. I'll give you an example. I didn't find out my uncle got the Purple Heart until he passed away. He never shared that with me. I never found out that he went to Motown until he passed away. I didn't even know the man could sing. And he was a songwriter. And now I'm wondering, I always thought I got that from my father's side of the family, because my father and them are writers and they're creative, but I don't sing, but I damn sure could write songs and all that. Right? Excuse me. But now I know, hey, I could attach this part of my life to that part of my family. Or and then I say, well, now I know where some of that comes from. Comes from both sides of the family. I didn't know that as a child. Maybe if I did, my direction and how I went to my life would have been a little bit different, but I didn't know. I didn't know. And like I tell my children, because I have four, a girl and three boys. Two of my boys rap, right? The one that's 21 and the one that's 18. And when they do start doing the gangster bullshit and street stuff, I said, stop. Don't do that, because what you're doing is you're lying and you're planting seeds of malcontent and putting negative falsehoods out there about yourself. And what's going to happen is those seeds are going to go into the universe. They're going to grow, 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 grow. And then all that energy you put out there, guess what happens? It's going to come back to you in a mighty, mighty wave. You're going to wonder, like, why is this all coming at me? Because you spoke it. And your words are like seeds to the universe. And that's why it's happening. That's why. Yeah. So I'm telling them, just tell their real life is interesting. They've seen some things. Ain't nothing wrong with saying that, mama, my daddy had me in church, even though he's not a Christian or he doesn't subscribe to any religion. His thought was he wanted us to have a base. So when we get older, we could make up our own minds like he made up his own mind. He didn't force nothing on us. Why did he name us Malcolm X and after Marcus Garvey? I was going to name my last son Malik, which means owner or most high, because I wanted them to research these people. I wanted them to understand that names have meanings. What you live is what you are. So that's why they started studying the Malcolms and the Marcus Garveys, and they looked up their names. I'm like, Daddy, this was interesting. I see why he did this now. That's why I introduced them to Motown, and they know Temptation songs, Bob Marley songs. They know. That's why I tell them, don't just listen to music. Get online, Google the lyrics, and then play the song as you're reading the lyrics, and then this way, see, this way the devil can't get you, because it's all in the music. If you don't read the words and get an understanding for yourself, the music, that's why it's called soul music. It'll captivate your soul and take you places. Like love songs will make you, feel romantic. Certain songs like heavy metal, get you all hyped up and all that. Depending on the hip hop, the rap song could take you to a lot of different places. But when you read the lyrics while the song is playing, you're separating yourself from the music. You're just focused on the lyrics. So you're getting your understanding of what it means to you. Because you're not getting the music's understanding of what it's filtering into you. So that's just, that's what I teach them how to do. Learn how to filter stuff and learn how to deal with that stuff. Don't just listen and bow and be shaking your head like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then you don't have an understanding of what's happening to you. because that's how the enemy gets you right there. You know, that's how he gets you. Next thing you know, you'll be out here wilding, and you're like, man, what happened? Your soul was taken somewhere because you've closed your eyes and entered into the spiritual realm, and you opened up that third eye, but you blindly opened it up. So you weren't really walking, you weren't really seeing things clearly, and you were being led. You weren't leading. So because you could do that. You could walk on the spiritual plane and be led and not lead yourself. Like it's called in some cases we call that rage. Like I give you for instance, I got so mad one day at a job that I had that I literally, well, I did something. I picked up somebody and threw him down a flight of steps, right? So, but I saw myself over here on one end, and I'm yelling with everything in me, stop, 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 stop. I could not stop myself. I was separated from my physical body, and my spirit was like, stop, 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 stop. And in the physical, I couldn't stop myself. And that was the first time I went to, well, jail. They locked me up wherever I was. And they were going to take me down. Actually, they were supposed to take me to the central booking. I was supposed to end up at Supermax, but God is good, man. I didn't end up at Supermax. I had to do about 24 hours of community service and picking up trash and all that. Well, we started out at the actual dump where they dump trash. Excuse me. This is what happened. It is so funky and thick and stinking back there. There's junk, there's crows, and this is just nasty. So dudes were falling down all over the place. That's why they tell you to wear some good boots and or clothes you don't care about. And so I fell, and the dude was like, "Look, the police or whatever that was with us was like, you fall, and the trash truck comes and covers you, you're gonna die here. I don't care." That's what he said. You fall in this trash, and we don't find you, you die here, because you don't mean nothing to me. I don't even want to be here. I should be at home with my family on the weekend, but I'm here with you. You can fill in the words that sound like ninja, but it's not ninja, right? That's what they did. That's what I had to go through. I used to come home from work, come home from doing my community hours. Sometimes I couldn't live with my kids. I took a bath and a shower. It's just that stink. I washed my hair twice. I couldn't get the funk out my damn nose. I used to burn incense. Hell, I bought trees and just sniffed on them trees you put in your cars. It was crazy. I just couldn't get the stink out of my nose. But that was better than going to jail. So, back to good Lord, I'm sorry. It's 2:50 in the morning, y'all. Y'all gotta see with me. But back to respect. If I didn't have any respect when I got locked up and stuff, they would have turned me into Swiss cheese. Because like I said, I couldn't stop myself. So I was in a rage. Those police would have turned me into Swiss cheese. So it took four of them to hold me down. I was that mad, right? I wasn't mad. I realized the difference now between mad and rage. So that's why you might say, wow, this dude is super calm. Yeah, I have to be. I have to be. And that's why I meditate. That's why I ask the good Lord, hey, just guide my thoughts, man. Don't let me get into that any dark, stinking thinking. Just guide my thoughts as to where I'm going and lead me in this life where I need to be. Because I will do something positive. I will do some very good things before my eyes close and before I turn into pure energy, and transcend, make that transition. I just need to stay strong in the faith and in a positive light. And so sometimes you have to be around a lot of positive people, and that even if they just say, we love you and carrying on, and that's all they say to you for the rest of the day, those simple words that reinforces your positiveness, and you go. It's also important what you read as well. Because I do a lot of what I'm starting to. I used to read a lot of books, but now I'm starting to do a lot of the audio books on YouTube. But what I do is I do my due diligence and research them first, and then I listen to them the whole book. All right. And then just have these conversations and speak on what I think I gained and what I gleaned from the book. And some of them really apply to my life. I'm starting to realize that now. I think the last audiobook I did was called I think it was The Caregiver. I could look that up real quick, but I believe it was the caretaker or caregiver or something like that. I don't really remember, but that's, I'm gonna look it up as I'm speaking to y'all. So be patient, be patient, be patient. But yeah, and the only reason I'm making this live is because I was on somebody else's live. Of course, it was a boxing live. That's where the most disrespectful people are. So youngster comes on there and he was like, I don't want to hear this long-winded nigga talking to me. Yes, those are terms he used. Right, right, right. And then, you know, and then he said, let me talk because I haven't spoken yet. Then he said, what's the topic? And one of the hosts, he was a host too, but how you gonna host a show and not know the topic? I don't know. But one of the other guys in the panel was like, you gonna come on the show and not know what the topic is. So I said, yeah, you gonna come on the show and not know what the topic is. You asking people to stop talking. He's like, man, F you, and I'll kick you off the show. So I just said, okay, what does that mean? If you kick me off the show, don't matter. It ain't hurt my feelings. You know? Go right. I mean, why do people do that? People fail to realize that you sitting in your home. You giving them time. They're not doing you any favors. You giving them time. So you kick me off your show, and then what? Then what? And as I left a little text, I typed into the chat as I was leaving that you're gonna come to realize that in the real world, respect is king. So keep playing tough on social media. Someone gonna call your bluff, tough guy. Someone is. Someone will definitely call your bluff. What's up, Johnny? Someone's gonna call your bluff. No one can ever say that I played tough on here. They can say I played, but I don't play tough because I don't give off that energy. No, sir, I don't. I don't want to do that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, man. Respect is still king. It shouldn't even come to that. And that's another thing. If you having an issue with whoever you have an issue with, correct? So you having that issue, that's not my problem. That really isn't my problem. So, I just know that I learned about respect coming up, and that's the way I live my life. I don't ever say, okay, if my brother has a problem with this one and that one, because I've been approached like that, because my brother had a problem. They stepped to me too, and I'm like, that's my brother and I love him, but that's his problem. And then if you take the problem to another level, then it becomes our problem because he is my brother after all. You understand what I'm saying? So, that's all I was saying. You know, but I'm glad I have this platform, man, because I like to just speak to people. I just like to speak sometimes, get things off my chest without being. Sometimes I have come on here and been crazy and disrespectful, but that's human nature, baby. That's just me being the human being that I am. And sometimes we all need to get that out. Don't lie to yourself and not be true to yourself. Sometimes you have to howl at the moon. Sometimes you have to let that monster out or that beast out. Because if you don't, other things may happen. So sometimes you have to cleanse your soul, leave it alone. One day, just scream out, let that pain out, cry, yell, you know, go lace up some gloves, get into a ring and fight there. Don't try and fight nobody on the street. Go on, get your ass kicked in a boxing gym. At least you'll be okay there, right? Don't do it on the street, right? But yeah, so it was just like I said, that was my 2 cents that nobody really wanted. You know, I'm actually in a very peaceful place in life, and I'm building towards other things because I deserve to live a certain type of life, and I'm going to get that life. You know, so come next year, I'm going to be a busy dude, so I'm not going to be on social media that much because I'm going to be building. You know, and every now and then I pop in and tell a story about where I'm at, what am I doing, and da 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 da. But the good Lord got me running, man. I'm talking to people. Actually, everything that I ever got paid to do at a 9 to 5, I'm doing now for myself. Reaching out to people, marketing, I excelled at all that on the job. I just hated it because I took home a fraction of what I made the company. If I make you $1 million a year, why are you only paying me $60,000 a year? Huh? That's not even a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of what you're making. So that's you telling me I'm not worth it. And I would get pissed. I mean, $60,000 is nothing to sneeze at, but I made you $1 million last year, baby. Why are you only giving me 60? Think about it. Let's break it down to smaller terms. You work for a couple hours and you get paid $10 an hour, but you just made that dude $4,000. In those short 4 hours you worked. So he's only gonna pay you 40. That's 10% of 10%. So really, you're not even getting that much because 400 is 10% of 4,000, and 40 is 10% of 400. If my math is right. So what exactly are you getting? So I had to go and do. I had to become a tree instead of being a branch on a tree. Because see, a branch could break off, and once the branch breaks off from the tree, the branch is dead, has no roots. So I had to go lay down some roots and become my own man. So yeah, that's just it. Hopefully, I'm reaching somebody or some positive. Honestly, if it does, it does. It doesn't. I needed to say these things. I needed to say respect was king. I needed to say it in a way that it made sense to me at 51. That I know about respect. That I'm not living in the twilight zone over here, and you could just be disrespectful at any time you want. You know, I don't believe that. I never have, never will. And that's just it. I don't believe any man or any person should just be outright disrespectful without paying a consequence for that. There's consequences in life when you do stupid stuff. Mm. Okay. As far as me being booted off a show, that don't mean nothing to me because I got two shows if you want to look at it. Major's show and Detroit Graham Experience. So, and speaking of that, everything that these mouth breathers are talking about, we're gonna bring you the facts in a little bit. That's why it takes so long sometimes for us to do shows because we're trying to bring you out the facts. Yeah, I do a lot of hearsay, but we're gonna end up bringing you the facts in a minute. So just hold tight. We got the facts coming for you, baby. That's it. No more, no less. I'll probably stay on here till 3. So I gotta get up 3 hours. Then I gotta get up again at 10. I have a routine. I get up at 6, I take my medicine and I work out. And I go back to bed, get up at 10, go to the gym, work out, and I come back home. I start building my business. But I also meditate early in the morning. I just kind of just sit on the edge of the bed and just slow my mind down, just, be silent. Because I'm filtering out yesterday's negative energy and bringing in today's positive energy. So if you might say, well, he talks kind of slow and he talks kind of deliberate, I guess. But that's what peace will do to you, baby. Peace of mind, that is. Peace of mind. I'm gonna find a queen to add to my peace, and then I'll be a very rich, peaceful man. You know? I already had the family, I got the house, I got the grandkids, I got the children. Now I just got to get the queen. Mm-hmm. So yeah. But look, everybody, if I keep going, it's gonna start rambling, and you're gonna start seeing me doing this. Troy, wake up. That's what Troy does. He falls asleep. So let me say this to one and all who's ever listening and who this shall touch in the long run. Be true to you because you cannot please every blasted person. Don't ever shortchange yourself. If you have a dream and you constantly have that, if you see that dream constantly in your head, say that, okay, something far fetched like, think about it. The dude that invented the toilet, what did they have to go through? Because people weren't wiping their behinds it using no toilet back in the day. They weren't even using toilet paper. So think about that. The dude who came up with toilet paper, think about all the ridicule and all that nonsense he was because humans were such nasty people and unintelligent. So there was no toilet paper. So here he goes. He's selling you tissue for your behind on a roll. Hmm. You used to wiping your behind in the ponds and the creeks, and and all of that. There was no running water. So I said, you gonna sell me some paper for my ass? That's nasty. I don't want to touch my ass with paper. Hmm. Okay. Years later, we can't see ourselves without toilet paper, even if you have a bidet. Yes, I know what the bidet is. Look it up. It's an ass washer. Yeah, it's a fancy word for an ass washer, bidet. But anyway, but you know, that's just so don't ever think your dreams are far fetched because the dude who invented running water, that shit was far fetched. It was like the hell running. We don't even know what do you mean running water. Think about it. Horsepower in a car. The only power that they ever had was horses, right? A person who decided, okay, we can fly. Excuse me again, we can fly. And people are like, man, you crazy. We're not birds. We can't fly, right? And then all of a sudden, there were airplanes. And think about this, a story I heard once. I wish I could remember the lady's name. She wanted to be the first woman to swim from, I might have the story inversed. I think she wanted to swim from Canada to Manhattan. And the first time she did it, oh my God, she swam and swam and swam and swam. Of course, there was a boat following her in case she got. So she swam and swam and swam. Then she ran into a fog. Then it was like jellyfish or something that were stinging her. And she was like, oh, can't go on anymore. I'm tired. And she stopped. And when the fog cleared, she was about 100 feet away from Manhattan. She had already stopped and turned around. And she was like, shit, I should have kept going. The following year, she trained harder, 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 harder. So she started out in Canada and it started out with good weather. Then all of a sudden, it was a thunderstorm. Now, USC swimming in the water and there's a damn thunderstorm and everything got black and the jellyfish came back around and was like, ah, gotcha, bitch. Right. And then she swam and swam and swam. Couldn't really see where she was going. It was raining. And she was like, Lord, if you could just get me where I need to be, I promise I won't quit. I promise you. So she swam and swam and swam. And just as about she said, I can't take it no more. She was on the shores of Manhattan. She did it. She became the first person to swim from Canada to Manhattan. Yeah, I really wish go Google it. That's somebody and let me know who did that. Because I heard this story before. I just don't remember the name of it. But I'll just leave y'all with that. Anything that's put into your heart, that's yours, that you dream of, it might seem crazy or far fetched to you because no one else has ever done it. Guess what? It's because you're supposed to be the first one to do it. That's why no one else has done it. That's why. That's gonna be one of your first. Until you do it, no one else is gonna do it. And then when somebody else does it, guess what happens? It's not gonna have the same effect because it's not their purpose, it was yours. But the good Lord said, if since you're not using it, I'm going to give it to someone else and they're going to run with it. Okay? So, on that note, I wish everybody the best and to bless up. And remember this if you don't remember anything, be respectful, man. You'll live a much longer, prosperous, positive life. Respect.